Hello again, and welcome back to Market Mamas. We're so glad you guys are here with us today. We're going to dig into a term that we've been kind of hearing more and more about lately, and it just really applies to our trading and creating this Market Mamas community. The term is organic evolution.
Yes. I'm not sure about you guys, but I've been hearing this term kicked around on multiple platforms with various topics recently. Scientifically, the organic evolution of change holds that change in the genetic makeup of species in a population are a result of responding to environmental changes. It means gradual and orderly changes from simple to complex in the characteristics of any organism from generation to generation. It's a long-term process over decades to centuries in the biological world.
Okay, so we can apply this term when one is pursuing specific and significant advancement in their lives. Slow and steady growth. It's about early focus on sustainability and quality of work over quantity. Growth and tangible results come as an organic byproduct of those efforts. Slow growth means that you're allocating time to focus on other things too. You're using your time intentionally and purposefully with business and personal life. You're consistently developing strategy and diversity, understanding your market, your niche, the needs of your consumers while catering to them. So in trading, this looks like studying to understand more deeply, how the market moves and why, and which strategies work best with your own psychology and what opportunities you are more inclined to recognize. Also, the awareness of what emotional triggers, you have to manage more aggressively, along with your natural strengths and your biggest weak spots in your game. Once we have that very unique and raw material, then we can create a system that can serve and support us while also honoring our own intuition.
Nice, yeah. Slow and steady growth also combats the burnout risk so well. It's a hard ask to consistently work late nights and early mornings over a long period of time, especially if you have a family. Sure, that's one way to push hard and fast at a goal. However, you can also build an impressive empire with steady, sustained growth, dedication, and persistence. But you balance your day with personal health and family responsibilities with this approach. And that is arguably so much healthier for your whole person and impact to those around you that you love. This is a difference in perspective and pace. One is more forceful, aggressive, narrowly laser focused, and the other is a little more patient, steady, faithful, manages multiple life directions simultaneously.
Of course, we have all heard of the tortoise and the hare reference, slow and steady wins the race. And okay, also maybe some of you parents out there may have read, Pete the Cat's Go Pete Go. That was certainly like my son's favorite book. Like I've read it more times than I can count. And the core concept is that this phrase, it's about being consistent and having calculated efforts that will lead to success and goal achievement. The super impressive Bruce Lee once said, long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. I mean, say that one more time because it's a tongue twister. Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. I mean, being the true master that he is, he clearly speaks from a real perspective of experience that developed into expertise.
Yeah, I really love that quote. So I'm going to go a little deeper for a moment. Stay with me. With the scientific classic growth curve. So there's 4 phases of growth here. For the sake of relevance, we're just going to talk about the first 2. The first phase is called the lag phase, and it's characterized by a slow growth while the new organism or project is getting used to its new environment and doing the critical core work to the foundation. Then the second phase is called the log or exponential phase, and it is characterized by an increased and constant growth rate that builds concentrated mass more quickly. In order to get to that second exponential growth phase, you have to just start. You must create the foundation of the thing that you're creating. Put in every step and requirement in place that fosters the growth that you want. Nurture and fine-tune the early stages and support it as it prepares to take off. If you do a thing right, that exponential growth phase is quite a move to be on board with.
Oh my gosh, so much so. Okay. Is slow and steady the gold standard? I like to think that it totally is. And a little progress each day, will add up to big results. If you can combine steady, deliberate actions and then sprinkle in the occasional sprints when needed, you can really have a winning pace. This makes me think of running. I'm currently training for my very first half marathon. And, when speaking with more advanced and experienced runners, I learned about the 80-20 rule. So essentially, the most ideal way to train is to run 80% of the time at whatever your natural, steady pace is for long distance runs. Then 20% of your training time you can dedicate to speed work. This is how you build stamina, strength, and endurance. And it's how I recently, reached my longest distance yet of 7 miles on New Year's Day. And I felt really great while doing it, by the way. I love how this is also just so applicable to, life work in general, for a sustainable life that is accentuated by bursts of momentum to boost your productivity, in addition to just keeping that pace and making everything sustainable for you. I'm currently reading David Goggins' book, Never Finished, and he talks about the importance of knowing when you must adjust your speed and just knowing that you can't expect to be effective in life, being in cruise control. The beauty of life is sometimes you do get hit with a complete shitstorm and you have to choose in that moment if you're going to adapt and fight or if you're going to be swallowed up by adversity. These happenings ultimately add increased satisfaction, confidence, and power towards the advancement of whatever you're working towards in life. Purposeful action and effort will build a base to allow consolidation for the bigger breakouts, to come and then to continue. To me, this is what organic evolution really is about. It also brings to mind the quote by Jim Watkins: "A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence."
There is no guarantees when you take risks, but by slowly and intentionally making moves in a measured way, this mitigates some of the risks of pushing for larger gains over time. We've all heard of Tony Robbins, I'm sure. Well, he has said that no matter how many mistakes you make or how slow your progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. We can talk ourselves out of anything, especially when the actions you are considering have no guaranteed success. They hold risks, and it will take substantial effort. It can feel safer and calmer to just not even try or to give up when early efforts encounter resistance, which is extremely likely. But I would ask, is that truly living? Are you testing your full potential by staying with a safe, quiet life? Not everyone has the urge to know their true potential. But if you're like us and you do, then we're going for it. Even with the no guaranteed outcome, we're absolutely getting somewhere farther than everyone who else is not even considering getting in the game.
Okay, so this organic evolution is very much similar to the stair steps analogy. You can't get to the top in one big giant leap. I've been known to take, 2 steps at a time, but even that is only sustainable for so long. To reach the highest of heights, it is the steady climber, who just keeps climbing one step at a time until she reaches the top. That repeated persistence is what gets the adventurer to new levels. Author Jerry Fry, who stated, "Success is a slow process, and quitting does not speed it up." So, success is the attempt to reach the top of peak after peak, however you define that in your own life journey. There's no way to read the future or guaranteed arrival to those peaks, but you can be sure that you'll never get there if you quit when it gets hard. So, there's nothing wrong with taking breaks, asking for help and just giving it time. There's always multiple ways to get to a destination. Sometimes we just need to rechart our course, or even maybe do a little off-roading here and there. The key is, to not give up, when what feels like you're at a dead end is actually really just temporary traffic. Allowing time to work and organically evolve that is how all your works and energy will manifest. Or we like to say Femi-fest for all our women out there.
Such good visuals there with the stairway and the traffic. I also love the analogy of planting a seed. The seed, it's buried deep in the dark, damp soil. It requires time and patience to then rehydrate, find and convert nutrients into roots, grow its roots, and then start to form a plant. The plant has to gain enough size and strength and energy and momentum to break free from the surface, and then it can really start taking off with the sun adding energy. It's really such a beautiful image of the growth process that I know really resonates with us. We would never have big, beautiful, diverse plants without that critical, dark, damp, unwitnessed growth period. It's a requirement to create a plant. And the stronger, deeper, more substantial the root structure is, the larger and more hardy the plant will be capable of becoming. I mean, that is what Ken and I are doing when we talk about building our foundation within our trading careers. It's the groundwork of studying, practicing, falling, rising again, pivoting, and persistently showing up in our arena. We're deepening our root structure for a stronger foundation to break free from.
Yes, I also love that plant imagery so much. Oprah Winfrey has really created her empire in her own vision. And so, of course, she has some really great quotes for growth and just the process that it takes. And it's resonated so much with us. One of the things she said is, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. Right to the point, if you want a bigger, untamed, more rich and free life, you have to literally evolve into the person that commands that life. Become the person who governs all of the complexities and behavior necessary to sustain that lifestyle. We are the creators of the lives we have, and we get to design that accordingly. So this requires personal elevation that can be maintained and sustained for the long term. No one wants to be, in a house that's built of cards. Your dreams are worth your drive, and you deserve everything you're willing to earn. So Oprah was also quoted saying, your true passion should feel like breathing. It's that natural. I love that so much. That's how I feel about trading and with creating this Market Mamas community. When you're passionate about your plans and your pursuit, it does feel as natural as breathing. In addition, I feel like it also should feel like the need to breathe. I need to chase something that is challenging. I crave that feeling of just activating my faith each day. And, I don't have to force these activities. I want them, and I feel fortunate that I get to do them.
People in my personal life have asked me so many times, how do you have time for all these things with your family and your own needs? Well, it's because I love it. These are labors of love for me, both trading and Market Mamas. I feel driven and called to both endeavors, and so the effort doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Sure, I have to purposely arrange my time so as to not neglect my family and other required responsibilities, but I have determined that I am dedicated to these pursuits, so I'm going to find time and make it work. This is how I know I'm on the right path for me. The passion driving me to embrace the slow but sustainable growth pattern so that I can continue to evolve and compound as it is organically ready within the parameters of my life. So I don't have to stop or give up what I really want if I do it in such a way. I once heard that slow success builds character and fast success builds ego. I mean, I'm all about building my character in a strong and stable foundation while I create my dreams. I love that.
Yes. Oh, I could not agree more. The term steady means smooth, gradual, and regular manner of movement, not suddenly or unexpected. The opposite being rapid, rushing. Rushing involves more risk, less enjoyment, more often than not. And it brings more sustainable risk of injury, miscalculations, potential poor decision making. And it's just not doing your due diligence to protect your backside. So I know we all have experienced times in our lives where we wish we could rewind and do something over, such as life. But we can try our best to slow down and be more mindful to avoid shortcuts. I really like the saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you really want exponential growth in your pursuit, then an early creation phase of standards and sustainability is required. And if you can hold steady to your short-term goals, then your long-term goals are just inevitable. And if you don't quit, then that's how you're going to organically evolve.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was so excited for this episode. This concept speaks to my heart. I love the metaphors and the intent of the message. Have patience and persistence, and we can create the life of our dreams. The exponential growth will come when it's ready, when you're ready. So thank you for being here with us today. We hope you found value in this conversation. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already and leave some comments because we love interacting with you guys, okay? So thank you and have a great rest of your day. Bye.